No, we'll start with the good stuff. Happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank
How
you.
does it feel to be 40?
Yeah, similar. Unsurprisingly, yeah. So it was a nice day. Yeah, got to spend some of it with the family, and obviously not as much pressure on the results at this moment. So to have just secured our safety before my birthday was nice. But yeah, now as you'd expect, full focus on Manchester United. Still managed to get some good work done yesterday on preparing for what is going to be a very tough game against a good side that are still pushing hard to make sure they qualify for the Champions League. So will be a good test for us tomorrow.
You've had a brilliant last third of the season, but you have lost your last 2 games in the Premier League. Would it be safe to say that if you didn't finish strongly, it would ruin your summer?
Yeah, I want us to finish strongly. I think by the time the summer comes, I think there will be a reflection on what we've achieved, regardless of what goes on in the next 2 and the last 2. I think if you'd have said to us in some of them dark months where we were struggling with injuries and we were either 19th or 20th, that you're happy to get to 39 and sign off with 4 games left, that you're probably safe, we would have all signed up for that. So we obviously set ourselves a goal. We've achieved it, but does that mean that we're happy to just stop and park up and finish on 39 points? Definitely not. Last weekend was a good reminder, really, that if you drop your level a little bit, it can look like quite a lot at this level. Premier League's ruthless. So looking for a response from last weekend, and Manchester United at home. Yeah, great fixture for the boys to go and show what they can do.
Obviously, it will be a big challenge, like you say, but the fact that you have beaten Tottenham and Liverpool recently would suggest that you can mix it with the big boys.
Yeah, we definitely can. I think we were performing very, very well in those football matches. I think a real resilience and everyone at 100% in both of those games to give ourselves a chance against, obviously, strong opposition, and we'll need to be the same tomorrow. We'll need everybody, as we have done all season. I spoke about it briefly about getting every drop out of everyone, players and staff, and we'll need that again tomorrow to obviously make up the gap between ourselves and a club like Manchester United. So and the last home game of the season. So hopefully we can create a real good atmosphere, and the players and fans can share another special afternoon here. There's been a few, as you say, the Liverpool one, and even over the years there's been some fantastic afternoons here in the Premier League. And final home game of the season, get to say thank you to the fans. They get to see the players for the last time here until the summer. So hopefully it can be a successful day for us.
What have you learnt about an Erik ten Hag side from your analysis? They've got a lot of threats, but they've perhaps not been at their very best recently.
Yeah, lots of threats, very fluid, not as structured as some other teams at the top of the league. They have a lot of rotations, players with a lot of freedom to roll around, and sometimes that can make it more difficult to prep for than when you play teams that you know where everyone's going to be and you can come up with a real detailed plan. This one's slightly different to that. So, very fluid, but obviously big talent. I thought the away game sort of showed that, really. I thought game plan-wise and the way we went about the game, we played really well, but they have moments and of big quality where players can hurt you out of not very much. So we'll need to be at the top of our level tomorrow to give us a chance.
What's the Bournemouth injury update? Have you got anyone that you're welcoming back, or have you got anyone you got concerns over?
Junior Traore has trained nearly all week fully, but will not be involved tomorrow. Hopeful to get him some minutes before we break up next weekend at Everton. So hopefully he'll be around for that one. And then apart from that, we're pretty good. Jeff's may have to wear something just to help protect his nose from the incident last weekend. But won't affect his availability.
And whilst talking about Jefferson, obviously someone who's been outstanding for large parts of his Bournemouth tenure since he joined. There's a lot of talk about his future. He hasn't signed a new contract. There's been links this week with Crystal Palace and other Premier League sides that are monitoring him. Will this be his farewell to the Bournemouth fans tomorrow, do you feel?
I'm not sure. I think, he's a great guy, Jeff, and we're still in discussions with him. He's happy, he's enjoying his football. but as with every individual, you have decisions to make about what looks best for you and your family. And of course, we're hopeful Jeff stays. As you say, if we focus purely on this season for now, he's been a big part of what we've managed to achieve. Has given everything in every single game, works his socks off, regardless of contractual situation. If there could be a concern around going into a relegation scrap with somebody that you don't know if they're going to be here or not next year, but that was never even entered my mind, just because of the mentality of the player and what he shows me every Saturday. He was just fully committed always to what was needed. So yeah, I think he's had another successful season, and yeah, when we return in July, hopefully he's with us.
And just finally from me, this will be your first summer as a manager, and the first time, I guess, really you have the opportunity to set out a pre-season and the recruitment strategy and the types of players that you'd like to try and sign. Obviously, I know there's an infrastructure in place here with Richard and Neil, and you work closely together. In your own mind, do you know what you'd like to do for next season, what players you'd like to try and recruit, and what positions you'd like to try and improve on? Yeah,
I've sat with the guys that you mentioned already around what next season can look like and plans that we've put in place. So yeah, we're along that process. One of the benefits of getting to 39 points as early as we did is we have had a couple of weeks already where you can move some of your focus to next season that is going to come. So yeah, we start to put some plans in place, and obviously a lot of things need to get done between now and then, but hopeful that, as we saw in January, really well planned, and hopefully the summer can be equally as successful for us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi.
You mentioned Jefferson's injury from last week. How did the chat go with Howard Webb you were planning on the Sunday?
Yeah, so my weekly chat with Howard. Yeah, we do that most Sundays now. So my Sundays generally look like watch the little boy play football, speak to Howard Webb, have Sunday roast, start to prep for the next game. So yeah, Howard was, he agreed it should have been a sending off, and was surprised it was missed. And to be fair to Howard, he very open, very honest. Every time I speak to him, takes his time to speak to me. So yeah, similar to the Bednarak one recently at Southampton, Howard sort of disagreed with the outcome. Thought that it should have been a penalty at Southampton for us. Felt like there should have been some action against Anderson at the weekend. So, I mean, I understand mistakes, they can happen, and especially on sort of subjective decisions like that. But yeah, this season seems like there's been a lot go against us. So people say they even themselves out over the course of a season. It hasn't, definitely, for us this season, but hopefully they even themselves over the course of two, and we get a good few go our way next season.
Last home game, as you said. If you could pick out one or two of your favourite moments since taking over here at the Vitality.
Here at the Vitality, yeah. So the Everton game, obviously before the World Cup break, big day for everybody. Going into the World Cup break off a big win, the atmosphere inside the place. I think the comeback against Fulham was huge as well. We hadn't really, got into our winning run, we hadn't really picked up momentum results-wise by that point. 1-0 down at home to Fulham. Tough game, sort of tactically not going quite how we'd expected at half-time to fight our way back and win that one was big. Obviously Liverpool, and any time you beat Liverpool as Bournemouth is a big one. So and hopeful that tomorrow we can make sure that we give a real good performance, that you can feel that connection with the fans again, which has been there for large parts of this season. They've been an incredible backing for the players, and that we can get that connection one more time, and they can show their appreciation for the players, because the players have given absolutely everything this year, achieved more than 99% of people in the country thought we could, and we can show our appreciation to the fans for sticking with us, because I'm sure it was tough at times for them as well. Some away games where we didn't manage to get good results, or we suffered late defeats, and the Arsenal game, the Leeds game. So appreciation to them for sticking by the players.
Ahmed Traore signed permanently this week. Still only 23. What do you see his future looking like?
Yeah, I think there's so much improvement in him. I think he's he's had a few injuries this season. Even before he came to us, I think he missed a few games. And then when he joined, fitness-wise, he wasn't quite up to speed. I think his first game was Brighton away, and we had to take him off quite early. Physically, he wasn't ready to do 90 at that point, and then he suffered a few other setbacks. So, yeah, delighted that we have his quality, undoubted quality, with us for a sustained period, and excited as to where we can get him, because he gets a pre-season with us now. So, to add to those moments of quality that he's been able to bring, can we get a guy that is able to go relentlessly for 90 minutes in and out of possession, and still bring those little bits that he shows where he can bring real quality to our side.
For you, life begins at 40, they say. How much would it mean to you, and how much of an achievement would it be to get to 40 points? Perhaps if you take a point off Manchester United.
Yeah, I think, as Mark said, we've lost our last 2 games, so we've been 39 points is a good tally, but it was better 2 weeks ago. So we've been stuck on it for a couple of weeks, and even losing football matches, you don't want to lose them. How we lost at Crystal Palace. So Chelsea game, we came and had a good go. A few things, fine margins, missed some chances. That if you're going to lose a Premier League game, that's how you lose it. You don't lose it how we did it at Crystal Palace. So tomorrow we need to go in and just be the best version of ourselves. It's been enough 10, 11 times this year, however many we've managed to pick up, and hopefully we can add 1 or 2 more before the summer. Just
finally from me, you said the people at the golf club gave you a bit of a rough ride in terms of how the management process has aged you. What do you kind of agonise most over, do you think? What sort of really keeps you awake at night?
Yeah, no, it's not so much. It just always feels like there's just stuff to do. So it's just like mentally, there's always things that you're thinking about around results and the ups and downs of results, but nothing that I didn't expect really. I think I've enjoyed it. I've even enjoyed sort of managing myself through some of those like tough situations, managing yourself through. Okay, yeah, we have just beat Tottenham 3-2, but we need to let's not get too carried away. A big result for me and the group and the players, but the next game's still as important as it was. So managing myself through those highs and lows, and being able to pick myself up and then pick the group up after things like Arsenal. Some challenges that all managers face, I'm sure, at all levels. But for it to be my first time and for it to be at the highest level that there is, I've learnt a lot about myself and the group.